I have an interesting story about Coach Tommy and my son as it relates to my son's attitude on men and women. Okay? I'm going to just say that for a moment. My son, who's 17, I'm trying to
mean Mr. Pound This Rock?
Why do you hear Mr. Pound This Rock? You're going to be upset about this. You get your hackles up on this day. Ron, you're talking about 28% of people now did not go back to the gym after the pandemic or haven't yet. Go ahead.
I bought an exercise bike when they closed the gyms, and that's what I was using at the gym, and so I just stay home now.
Yeah, I think some people did that too.
I get it. Good for you.
Are you are you motivated to do it at home versus going to the gym? You're still doing it.
Yes, I go 5 days a week.
That's impressive.
Good for you.
Yeah, because some people, see, if I had it at home, it'd be hard to make me do it. I have my
You're
place.
Johnny No Discipline.
I'm no discipline. I make an appointment, I go in. That's how I do it.
You'll be forced to do it.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. That's great that you're doing that. Listen,
yeah, man.
Let me give you some examples of my son's sexism over the weekend. Okay.
Is this his senior project?
It should be.
Are we we're looking at this from the wrong? Is this? We should be looking at, what do they call it? Macro instead of micro.
He came waltzing in from school on Friday. My wife and I were watching The Crown. Okay.
Ballyhoo.
Weeping.
That's right.
By the way, they're going to stop making it too.
Stop making The Crown?
I think this might be the last season. They said there's going to be 2, but they said this will probably be it.
They'll cease production.
Because
but The Crown is still The Crown.
They're going to stop making it.
It's a lot about the Queen. It really, but nonetheless.
Anyway.
We talked about a specific episode on Friday. Remember the one with Thatcher I told you about?
Yes. Someone in the room was pro-apartheid?
Thatcher.
I can't sign this.
Yeah.
We rewatched it. She wouldn't sign on to something because it would put sanctions on South Africa. And she said, we do so much trade with South Africa, this will crush our economy as well as theirs. I won't do it. And so the Queen, for the only time in her history, really took a stand on something because she's supposed to say out of those affairs. And the way they depicted it was she said, I want you to sign this. And Thatcher said,
did they do it like soap opera style? Was the Queen staring out the window with Thatcher behind her? Queen's hands clasped behind her back, gin and tonic on the table. I'd like your signature on that piece of paper before you leave.
Tremendous episode.
Yes.
So my wife and I are weeping watching it. My son comes in. He's like, finally, man in charge. Things will change now. Pound this rock. I said, I will not pound this rock.
Oh, the king.
Right, the king, King Charles, And my wife said, you need some respect in this. So,
well, he and Charles have a lot in common.
They've not done anything ever.
Neither have ever had a job.
Exactly. Great point.
Always overshadowed by women.
Great point. Yes. He's like,
always.
He's like, finally, Charles gets that cheddar. Pound this rock. I said, get out of my face with that. And I said to him, now this is the sexist stuff. He said, I said, son, we are watching a show here about 2 of the greatest female leaders in history. And my son said, what man directed the episode? Well, that was my reaction, right? I started laughing. And my wife is that funny? She looked at me, she said, is that funny?
That's pretty good. Like, I mean, considering the timing.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Exactly. That's what he said. And then we go to the same gym, okay? And you just brought up Coach Tommy.
Yeah.
Who he's a great coach. But he's not there all the time. He comes from corporate, and he'll come around once every couple of months, and I'll see him. And I've been in his class only 4 or 5 times. And I said to my son, now we go to the gym, and there are 10 phenomenal female coaches. And I said, those are my favorites. And he said, Coach Tommy.
He gets you every time he gets you.
I'm trying to teach him a point. And he never would. He just got up and said, it is what it is. That's his go-to line. It is what it is.
They got their place.
Got to. I will not put up with that kind of attitude.
And this is his senior project.
This is the senior project.
Does he have 2 pay stubs, one male, one female?
Right. Listen, I'll tell you, then we went to the gym, he and I, together on Saturday.
That's unusual, right?
Very. And we went.
At the same time.
And I signed us up for equipment right beside each other. The way our place works is you're on the rower, then you're on the weight floor, then you're on the treadmill. Some form of that. And I wanted him beside me the entire time because other times I went in with him over the summer, we were in the same class, but we were far apart, and I'd look at him, and I saw him loafing. He'd do a lot of like staring at the ceiling and walking and just loafing around.
And you don't care for that.
I don't. I just want him to do the workout. I mean, it's an hour. So go do it, you know. So we do our bit on the rower, then we go to the weights. Now we're finishing on the treadmill. Now I'm dog tired. I mean, it is a workout. And he's next to me, and we're walking. It's a little warm-up walk. And I'm on the walk for me is a 4, okay? It goes all the way up to 12, the treadmill. And so I'm talking to my son, and I'm looking down at my feet, and I'm like, "Now I need you to run this entire time. We're going to really do this." He's like, "No, I'm slumped. And I said, "Now I want you to do it." I said, "You've been loafing here, you're loafing there." Yeah, I said, "It's just like school. You're not giving everything." Now, while I wasn't looking, he snuck his little hand over there and hit 12 on my treadmill, on mine. And so, without me even knowing that he had done it, and my belt started to speed up, and I said, "What's going on? What's going on?"
You're like a cartoon.
That's right. It's like a cartoon.
You're George Jetson.
And I look, and I, hit emergency stop, and he's just laughing, and I said, "Don't you?"
You had to hit the emergency stop.
I had to hit the emergency stop. I mean, I out of nowhere.
The emergency stop.
Out of nowhere, it went.
Does that stop all the machines?
Every machine stops. Everybody, and they were like, "Who hit the emergency stop?"
Like pulling the cord in a train.
Yeah.
I should have had a word with the coach. Say, "I'm tired of this. My partner here." He snuck up.
Can you yell at my son for me?
He says you were yelling at him throughout the workout.
Can you not let him in when I'm in here?
I was yelling at him.
You're the worst kind of coach ever.
I yelled at him throughout the workout. That is the truth. All right, here it is, Dave. Now, this is tailor-made for you. I read it to Chris Demm. I was on Reddit the other night.
Surprise.
And they do this sometimes. They were like, a universally beloved celebrity who people have actually met and say, "Oh, in real life, they're jerks." We've heard this many times, of course, and it's just a little interaction between people. But and I wouldn't even bring it up, except there's one guy on here, and I was like, "Oh, Dave is going to know." He's going to be the only one to go, "Oh, I get that." First, Rachel Ray. Somebody ran into Rachel Ray and said she was not a nice person at all. She went to see her live, the Rachel Ray show, and she said between takes she was horrible to the camera folks and the producers. She was yelling at them and stuff. Just
This lasagna's all wrong.
In front of an audience.
Bad lighting.
It's surprising in front of an audience to do something like that.
It is their workplace, though.
It is.
And that's the final product that's going out.
It's true.
So you want the good stuff.
But
it's like you.
Yeah, but wouldn't you do it in private? Wouldn't you?
Not if the show's going on. You've got thousands and thousands of dollars of people working. You got to get it right.
Maybe you're right.
Is that? I haven't been watching a television show live in years. When they do a cooking show, like the Rachel Ray show, I'm assuming they cook a couple of different dishes. Do they tape it in real time, or if they mess up a lasagna, do they just go 20 minutes longer and do a whole other pan of lasagna?
Like if it comes out burned.
Yeah.
I wonder.
They make it the day before, or they make it earlier in the day.
Yeah, there's usually multiple versions. They don't take a whole lot of chances. Like on the Today Show, that's live.
They just
cooking segments. They show everything made, but then they have a finished one.
Yeah,
that's right.
The finished one better come out looking right.
Yeah,
because if
you probably make 2 of those beforehand. And then you have 2 of them ready to go, and then you just show them putting it together, and here's how you do it.
I bet the crew eats really well when
that's what I hear.
I would think.
When it's all done. Same thing, Martha Stewart. A woman said, "I witnessed her call an assistant," and I'm quoting now, "a worthless piece of shite. No one should be called a worthless piece of shite." She accidentally dropped her handbag. That's what happened to the Martha Stewart in that show. Then one person said, "I used to work at Disney World. Howie Mandel and Bobby McFerrin came in on separate occasions. Both were jerks. I can't even listen to Don't Worry, Be Happy."
I don't know why, but that makes me really happy.
Bobby McFerrin.
The guy who sings Don't Worry, Be Happy is a complete a-hole.
How would you even know it's Bobby McFerrin?
That's one song.
Isn't that the truth?
And it's one.
Ain't that the truth?
It's one tiny.
That's 1986?
That's right.
1 week in history.
Hey, look who it is! If there's one person happy here, I know who that is. It's Bobby McFerrin. Shut up.
It's the happiest place on earth with the happiest song.
That would get to you.
Get out of my way. Maybe that's why I became so bitter.
Sick of it.
Maybe that's
I thought it was happy, you bastards.
That's right. Here's the one for
Hey,
you.
do that thing with your mouth. My brother-in-law says you're doing all that yourself.
He does. He does it all by himself.
He does.
There's no music on it.
instrument.
It's all him. Total a-hole, according to folks who worked at Disney.
All right. Well, I like it.
Okay, here's the one for you, Dave.
Okay.
One person on Reddit. So now these are celebrities that are beloved that are in real life jerks. Old reference here, but Gary Berghoff from MASH.
Really?
Oh, Dave's got to hear that. I love Gary Berghoff.
Wow. When did we see it on the set of like Matt? He was only on MASH and Match Game.
Played Radar, and this guy says, from what I hear, he was notoriously hard to work with and generally an a-hole on the set to everybody on the cast and crew, but his character was so beloved, viewers never thought of him like that. I owned a house in California. He had a vacation property there. Every neighbor hated him. Apparently thought way too much of himself. That's what he says. You know, who knows? But that was for you. Gary Berghoff played Radar on
I
MASH.
hate to hear that.
Well, he probably did some Love Boats and some of those other type of ensemble shows. But like Dave's right. I don't remember him from anything other than MASH and Match Game.
That's it. No movies or anything.
MASH the movie.
Yeah, he's in
He was
that.
the only original
That's right.
character.
He's in that. He played Radar, and I love the character. I mean,
He was very childlike on the show.
that's right.
Naivete.
Yeah, but now if you see him on Match Game, he is different there, but it's a different
Yeah.
He's
setting.
himself.
He's a different setting entirely. On the flip side, this is so for you, Dave.
Okay.
Larry Linville, who played Major Frank Burns on MASH.
Detestable
Yes.
character.
Detestable character, is known as an extremely nice guy, but people wouldn't warm up to him because of the character on MASH. He played it so well.
Yeah. It's ferret face.
Ferret face.
Yeah, he never got out. I mean, never did anything else.
No.
No,
Nothing.
he
that I
did.
know
He's the same thing. He did some Love Boats and some
But
fantasy
so
islands.
typecast. I
Yeah.
mean, MASH was such a part of the
That's why he
culture.
got out of it too. Plus, I think he said that he had done everything he could do. The character could, and he just said, "I got to go."
Is that why he left that show?
Yeah, I mean,
He was great on
He
that
was
show.
tired of playing the part, and he said there's nothing else for him to do, and he needed to evolve. And Hot Lips was getting married.
I'm
That's too much into
afraid.
the show.
I feel like Biggie calls me ferret face behind my back.
Oh, way worse.
Oh, yeah. It's not that.
Yeah, those are on the days he's in a good mood.